All right, well, let's get started then with our Tuesday night show and share. Anybody's first time here at Knox Makers? Great, welcome. Tuesday nights are our chance for members to gather and show what they are working on, what they've completed, what they're stuck on, or what they failed at. We welcome all types, and it just gives us a chance to see what everybody else is making and get some inspiration for our own maker curiosity. We don't have that many people showing tonight, but some cool stuff on here. So why don't we get started with Joe, who's going to show an old wood lathe rebuild. That's you. No, not you. Hold on. I just saw you.
Okay. I got this lathe several years ago. This is the spindle head off of it. And the guy that I got it from, he had it stored out in a barn undercover, but it still has issues. The bearings in it are pretty well, it's like turning a ratchet. Click, 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 click. So brought that in. I was able to get the numbers on the bearings and found a company locally that has the replacement bearings, and actually they have better bearings that were in it because they're sealed instead of, these are what's called shielded bearings. The sealed ones don't let dust in them like the shielded ones do. And I've got the drawings on it, and I'm going to get somebody over to the machine shop to help me look at the best way to get the bearings out of it. It's going to have to be pressed. I've tried using a dead blow hammer and to get them out, but let's see. That's the drawing of the lathe, and as you can see, it has, I've got the pulley off. This bearing is in this end. There is a snap washer or a spring washer and a snap ring just inside where that bearing is, and then the bearing here is pressed in. So I'm thinking, from the way it's made, once I take this cap off and there's a little spindle piece here, take that off, then I can press the shaft out, because I've tried driving it with a dead blow hammer and it doesn't want to move. I may see about heating this up if I need to. It's cast iron, so yeah. But another thing I thought about doing is I've got some, the dust off stuff that you use to blow dust out of machines. You turn those cans over and they get super cold, maybe chilling the bearings, and see if that'll help press them out. But yeah, I've had this one for a while. When I first got it, it was still kind of usable. I've turned a couple of pieces on it. When I'm in the process of rebuilding my workshop, because the last number of years I hadn't been at home taking care of elderly parents and stuff. But anyway, I also had a guy just give me a Shopsmith Mark V system. Probably doesn't have 3 to 5 hours of runtime on it total. And he's got the bandsaw attachment and all that. So I've got that moved into my shop. I just got to get a new roof on it and get that back and going. And last week was 3 years since my dad passed away. And how many of you seen the Oppenheimer movie? Well, in the movie they mentioned the thing about the Stagg Field at the University of Chicago. First controlled nuclear reactor. And that was it. Well, my dad worked out at Oak Ridge for 40 plus years, and he actually got a chance to meet Robert Oppenheimer back in the early 60s. Oppenheimer passed in 67, I believe, when it was. But there's a book out on the Oak Ridge National Labs on the history of it, and in the book is a picture of my dad. And that was a sample of uranium that came out of the Stagfield reactor on the 50, and they'd had it stored at Oak Ridge. And this was on the 50th anniversary of that reactor. And he's just wearing a lab coat, holding a canister of uranium and some uranium in a plastic bag. That's how careful they were at Oak Ridge at one time with radiation. Not very careful. But I've got a Pyrex glass beaker at home that was in a hot cell my dad worked in. You know, Pyrex beakers are usually clear glass. It's the color of this shirt from the gamma radiation that was in the hot cell. And they used to set beakers in there all the time, and you know, within 4 to 6 months, they were this color. So anyway, that's what I'm working on, and I'm hoping I can get these bearings out soon and get the new ones in. I've got a bandsaw I'm in the process of rebuilding. Just press the new bearings into the top wheel, and I've got 2 new urethane tires on the wheels, and getting ready to get a new drive belt and get that back up and running. Oh, when I got the Shopsmith system, the guy also had a dust collection system, and yeah, it was quite a bit of money he spent for the equipment, and he had heart surgery a few years ago and just hasn't been able to get back to doing it, and they knew the woodwork that I did, so I can't wait to get a chance to use it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Up next, we have Amy, who's going to show a turtle.
Some of you guys might remember about like a month ago, I showed a dragon I made for my cousin who is due soon now. It's almost April. Well, one of the faculty in the department is also pregnant and due in April. I did not make her a dragon, but I did make them a little turtle. Yeah, so I've been like, ever since I made the dragon, I was been really on a kick of like doing weird stuff with crocheted stuffed animals, just like weird techniques and shapes and stuff that I haven't tried before. So this one actually is in 2 pieces. So there's a shell piece right here that has its own interior. The belly is its own piece, and then all of the appendages, all the limbs and stuff are their own pieces. And there's a little, I made it in 2 pieces, so there's a little space in here. And you can actually retract all of the limbs like a real turtle. Yeah, so hopefully you'll like it, and hopefully the pieces don't come off, because again, it's a baby. Actually, since that was really quick, I also have another question, in case anyone has answers to this. I know this looks like another dragon. It's going to be a snake, which is why the head shape is a little bit different. I'm just going to zigzag maybe once or twice. I was thinking about making a rattlesnake, if I can think of a good like way to do it. So if anyone has ideas for putting something in the tail like here that'll rattle and sound cute and like not get out or anything, that would be cool. Yeah. Oh, awesome, thanks. It'd be cool if it sounded like a real rattlesnake, but that might be too much to ask for. We'll see. Questions? Oh, actually, wait. I'll show you. Oh, did you say an actual snake? Yeah, that seems super ethical. I think I might do that. And just to show you guys real quick what the inside looks like, because it's hidden now. This little center part right here, where everything is attached, is actually part of the shell. So I came out and then back in, and then as I was coming back in, I just did another outwards like that. So it's all one piece for the shell and that little body in the middle. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you for that. And up next, Isaac is going to show a storage system.
I've got a little storage problem in my garage, and if you're thinking this might be Halloween related, you're not wrong. I do not have a storage system. I'm working on designing something, and what's worse, I'm actually ripping off somebody else's idea. I saw this picture on the internet that I thought was approachable by me, and so I'm working towards copying it. What I wanted to share with you though is how I'm doing that. I'm using the free and open source OpenSCAD 3D modeler, which is like one of my favorite things. It's 3D modeling without the mouse. Basically you use text to describe the geometry and its relationships, and it's parametric, which means that once you've made a model, you can have it dynamically recreate itself around new ideas. So it's really handy for experimenting, and that's how I like to do stuff. So this is like a little bit of the code. Wow, that looks terrible. But I don't mean for you to read it. This is a cartoon diagram of how the system works. This is the end of a bin. So the bin basically rests its lip on the ends of two 2x4s, so it's almost like a drawer, so you can slide the bin out, which is nice because the bins don't sit on each other, so you can pull any one of them out without disturbing the rest, and it doesn't compress all the bottom ones, right? So this is the design idea, and this is a render of the structure that will hold a group of bins. So this would be like a 4x4 bin structure. And so it's made up of 2x4s, and there's a few 4x4s toward the bottom because it's got little wheels, casters, so you can roll it about in your garage kind of thing. And this is an example of some of the neat stuff you can do with OpenSCAD that I like. I just pulled in a person model and made it as tall as me so I could see what different configurations would be like ergonomically, and also told it to put the bins in there so I could see what it would look like. And so I can easily tell it that I want different amounts and shapes of bins. And over here on the right, this is part of the OpenSCAD interface called the customizer. So you can show it that certain parameters are dynamically adjustable. And so these ones I can just go in here and sort of tweak, and it will rebuild all the geometry and show me what that would be like. And so like in this instance, I told it I would really like to have 10 bins wide and 10 bins tall. But off the screen, I've explained to it that there is a certain amount of physical space available in the garage, and it's calculated that actually this is as big a system as would fit on that wall, and it's then designed it and shaped it out for me. And this also lets me like remove the wheels. So like this one doesn't have wheels, which also drops the geometry down and removes a bunch of the 4x4s and replaces them with 2x4s because you don't need so much structure if it's on the ground. So there's another layout where I was thinking about maybe it becomes a work surface that also stores things. My favorite thing about this approach though, and I've only recently discovered this, is that because you can make it do math for you, so it's telling me that as I configured this one, it works out to be 34 inches tall and 10.5 feet wide, and it uses 120 feet of 2x4 and 11 feet of 4x4 and has a total system weight of 177 pounds. Obviously you could do all that by hand, but that would be terrible. So I like to be able to just say, well, then take off one of the rows, and what does that do for me? I don't know if this design is any good. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I'm enjoying playing with it. So the next thing I'm going to do is make the model larger to actually be the entire garage, and then start having it build racks throughout the garage. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm having fun doing it. Thanks.
All right. Last on the list is me, who is doing both a share and an announcement for some classes that are coming up. This Friday, we're doing an adult crafting social where we'll be making mini upcycled terrariums. And to give you an idea of what those look like, I made a couple this weekend, and these are succulent terrariums, so they're open at the top. And we're using upcycled containers that I've collected and had no other use for, but decided, hey, that would be perfect for like a single little plant there. So yeah, this Friday, we still have tickets available. We'll be meeting, and we'll be providing everything you need. If you have a container that you would like to use, you can, but otherwise I got plenty here. And yeah, we just got tons of supplies for making these, and tickets do close Thursday, so 24 hours in advance, just so I know how many plants to get. But this is just some of the options for how you can make these things, and it was kind of fun to make and kind of see just how you can customize them. This is, I forget the name of this one. I think this is called like ice plant or something like that. And then this is just a sedum. But we have plenty of decorative rocks and stuff. I hesitate to turn this too much on its side, but I used a lava rocks base for drainage at the bottom, and then some glass mosaic tiles around there, and just sort of put those around the outside. Just to kind of add some visual flair. And then at the bottom of this, I actually used glass marbles. I don't know if you can see that through the bottom, but yeah, so turns out that you could fit like 7 marbles perfectly at the bottom of this thing, and it sits nice and even. So that was kind of cool to see, and yeah, they're fun. So we already got some people who are joining us on Friday, and that's going to be a fun time. So like I said, tickets close 24 hours in advance, so I hope you join us for that. And that's this Friday. Then, on the 30th, we will be doing a large terrarium class. And so this is also one that I've made. And let me see if I can take the top off of this one. It uses ferns and some moss that I gathered from my backyard. Again, I can't tip it over, but you can come and see it afterwards outside. But this one, I wanted to create a little scene in it. So I used some miniatures, and I made some props using some stained glass and clay and some other stones. And so I saw this piece of glass that was kind of like, looked like oil slick on water. It had this sort of iridescence to it. And I said, hey, that kind of looks like a portal to another dimension, because that's how my brain works. And so I made the sort of frame for it out of clay, and added some fake moss to go with the real moss in there. And then got a little guy, gave him a chunk of magic pyrite to put in his hand, found some glass that was like, pure glossy black that kind of looked like obsidian. And so I made this sort of altar thingy, whatever you might want to call it. So that's all in there. And it kind of tells this little mini narrative within the terrarium. And then in the process of building it, the ferns kind of give it this forest-like, towering over these little people. And I had the opportunity to hide a little few Easter eggs. So in the filtration layer, you might find a skull, or around the back, I've hidden a little demon dragon thing. So it's fun, and I had a lot of fun building this one. So we will be holding a class on how to build these and put those together and how to maintain them on the 30th. And that one is limited to 8 people, and I think there are 6 tickets left. So that'll be fun. We'll provide all the containers. I got plenty of large containers out there, all the plants. And yeah, that should be a fun time. So I hope to see you all for that. Other announcements. As I mentioned before, there will be a free crochet class right in here after we are done with show and share. Also, we will have electricians coming in, so please watch Mattermost, because they'll be doing some work in different zones, and therefore power will be affected. Russell, when's the next one that we know?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay, yeah, so.
Tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. till about 3:30.
Yeah, so power will be affected in different areas of the shop, so please plan accordingly so that you're not left in the dark, literally. Other announcements related to the upcoming Makers Market. One, we have a restock of the capsules for the capsule machine out there. And if you don't know what those are, that's just an opportunity for people to put little doodads and trinkets that they make and put them in these capsules, and we bring it out at the market. And it was very popular when we've run it before. People just like to see what they can get in this machine. And it's fun if you like to make little things but don't always want to keep all those little things. So anything that fits within a 2-inch capsule, and we have them out there. If you want to test fit whatever you make, you're welcome to add them to the bucket. Other updates, Aliki, you want to just give a quick note on how we're doing with the market right now? You can just give it from right there. Yeah.
We have opened up the market to the public now, so if you're on the fence, please go out to, there's a link in Mattersmost. It's also market.knoxmaker.org. Find myself, I can answer any of your questions. If you're looking forward to possibly volunteering with us and helping us out on the day of or leading up to the day of, please visit our Knox Makers market channel and let me know that you're looking to help out. Thank you.
Yes, lots of volunteers needed for parking, tours, general logistics on the day of. So all the help that we can get would be very much appreciated, and we can work in shifts based on your schedule that day. Other classes coming up, we have a bunch that are all sold out. Not even going to mention those other than my classes that I'm teaching, like I said, this Friday at 7 o'clock and on the 30th. But we also have a virtual board meeting coming up on the 24th if you want to see the goings-on on how Knox Makers is run. There is a new members onboarding on the 28th. So if you are a prospective member or a trial member, you need to attend a new members onboarding before you can become a full member. So that's your chance if you have not attended one before. That's just a chance to learn about us as an organization and how we like to make. So other than that, that is all the announcements I have, unless anybody has anything else. With that, we will end tonight's meeting. Thank you all for coming. We're going to open up the workshop and come hang out. Thanks.